Hey guys, what is up? Inksmith back again, and today, I don't know why, recording my drawing went really wacky. Like, it kept flashing as I was recording. So if this flashing is kind of bothering you, look away and just listen to the video. It's okay, you don't need to watch me draw anything. It was actually for the Tom Dark contest, in which my entry was never featured, so that means I didn't win. I don't know, it didn't get featured at all. Maybe I might have entered way too late, so that might have been totally my fault. I'm not angry at all. It's fine. So I got a kind of very touchy subject today, and this is a hard one because it's something that I supported and I actually shared the hashtag to, and then this was Pick a Side YouTube. This was recently started by Mamamax, and due to the fact that a lot of his videos have been taken down and have received, takedown notices and strikes against him from YouTube, because let's be honest, YouTube's system for striking down videos for what they consider bad content that is damaging to children is just totally garbage. It's bad all the way around for every single sort of, somebody cusses too much, got to make sure kids can't see this. Somebody said a bad word in this video, got to censor it. This is a police video, which somebody got shot. We got to make sure we censor that. I get it to a certain extent, but completely removing a video is where I feel like it crosses the line, and that's kind of what happened here with Mamamax. He's had some videos removed. His channel constantly gets things taken down, and it's because he pretty much fights. He goes on a crusade and fights. I want to say like websites and online games and chat rooms that go after children. Now, I want to get into that a little bit deeper because there is some truth to him doing that, and there is some falsehood to him doing that. And again, I want to make sure anybody listening to this realizes I agree with Mamamax. This is a bad thing. YouTube sucks. I agree with Mamamax on that. YouTube cares way more about money than they care about their creators. I agree with Mamamax on that. I spread the hashtag that he put out because I do think it is for a good cause. But there are some points where I feel like Mamamax could have handled this a little bit better. And if you haven't watched the video, you might want to watch that first. It's Pick a Side YouTube. It's his newest video on his website, on his YouTube. And it's a bit cringe, I gotta say. It was a little bit hard to get through the whole thing because it was kind of cringe. A lot of what Mamamax does is, it's a bit cringe in my own point of view, but he has an audience that loves it, so I can't knock him for that. If your audience loves what you're doing, who cares how cringe it is if it's not hurting anyone and it's actually helping people? So, go for it. Go for that fake deep voice pretending like you're super tough guy on the internet. It's cool. I'm not trying to mock him. I just feel like it's kind of, for me personally, when I watch his videos, I feel cringy. Like, I feel like it's very cringy. This video from the beginning, it's kind of overly aggressive. He uses phrases like, YouTube, we're going to squeeze your balls. We're sick of your shit. Stop fucking with us, okay, first of all, I used to cuss all the time in my videos, so I cannot be the first one to be like, don't cuss in your videos. Bad words are a naughty no-no. I think I cussed in my video just yesterday. But I feel like if I'm approaching a situation where I want somebody to listen to my side of the argument, throwing curse words or insults into the conversation does nothing to help it. If anything, it raises somebody's defenses right away for whatever you're talking about. That's where I feel like he could have been a little less aggressive with that aspect of it. He also called out a lot of other YouTubers that he wanted to help spread the word. And I thought this was kind of, the way he approached this was kind of in poor taste too, because he targets these YouTubers in a way that's very aggressive. So I'll say the top three YouTubers that he, and these will all be YouTubers you probably already know, that he kind of targets and asks them to shout out his hashtag. And he first calls out Corpse Husband, and says like, Corpse Husband, you owe me because I helped you out in a time of need. but you never responded to me ever again. So I actually watched RFC Augie go through what exactly happened with this situation. And apparently, while Mama Max's girlfriend was in the hospital, Corp's husband was getting backlash for having said the R word in a tweet from like a long time ago, and was like really kind of anxious about it, which I understand. Like if I mess up a video, or like even if I upload a video where I've screwed up the editing, I want to get it down right away. And until I do, I get very anxious about it. If it's a really big time dummy mistake, like I feel like Corp's husband feels like this issue was, you want to get it off the internet ASAP. And so he kept messaging Mamamax and was like, hey, you remember this conversation we had a long time ago? It was a tweet, and I put up a video where I said the R word. Can you please delete that? And Mamamax is like, can't right now. I'm here at the hospital with my girlfriend. She's sick. And he's like, yo, that sucks. But whenever you get home, like, can you get home soon and erase that? And like, I kind of, on both sides, my sympathy leans towards Mamamax because he's got a family member or a friend, or I don't know, what you like a loved one. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. A loved one in the hospital. And I think that's a little more important than racing home to take care of someone else's YouTube career. At the same time, I realize why Corp's husband would be really anxious about this, because I've kind of been in the same situation before where I need something taken down and I want to get home and take it down. Now, afterwards, Mama Max did this. He took down the video, and Corp's husband said thanks. And then he asked him, hey, can we collab soon? Can we do something soon? And like Corp's husband never answered him again. But I don't really feel like that's him owing him anything. Like if someone says, can you take down this video, and you do it, you haven't really done anything for anybody aside from like hit the delete button. But Mama Max says like, I did when I was there for you when you needed me, but now you can't be there for me to help me out with this message. Well, first of all, I don't totally understand what Corp's husband has to do with this. This is not really his line of video creation. So, these are like dark documentaries that cover dark subjects on the internet. I love these kind of channels. I watch all of them. I watch Nick Crowley. I watch Barely Sociable. I watch Nexpo, Internet Investigator, Hannah the Horrible, Eudoxia Mysteries. Like I watch everybody that makes these because I absolutely love them. Mama Max is the only one I can't really watch too much because of that voice, man. That pseudo tough guy voice. I just sorry, man. It just gets to me. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, man. All right. And, he's calling out Corp's husband and saying, yo, you owe this to me. I was there for you. Where are you now? Like in that voice. And it's just kind of like, but does he really owe you anything for this? Like, I mean, really? Like, I put out your hashtag. I didn't really feel like I owed it to you. I did it because I do believe YouTube treats a lot of its creators unfairly. I do even feel like they've treated Mama Max unfairly. But I don't feel like if I asked another YouTuber to help me out with that and they just ghosted me, they didn't say anything, I just think like, oh, probably they didn't see it. I think like Corp's husband hasn't made a video in a really long time. He hasn't even streamed for like 4 months or something. So, maybe he just hasn't even seen the video yet. Maybe he's been, there's times I've taken 6 months off of YouTube and haven't looked at a damn thing. It's very possible. It doesn't mean the guy's trying to like hurt your feelings or, go against you. The next person he called out was Philip DeFranco, and I felt like he was like super mean about this, that he said like, yo, I reached out to you before, Philly D, but you were too busy covering stupid drama. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, that's what Philly D does. He covers like, media drama. He covers a lot of like social networking drama, movie star drama, stuff like that's kind of his thing. He's not a dark documentary channel. And, like you've got your own small circle of people that you talk to within this dark documentary subgroup of documentaries, of reporting. But Philip DeFranco's never been part of that. So I just feel like it's kind of weird that you would call him into this circle. Like a lot of the other people he called out were already people making videos within this genre. So for example, Some Ordinary Gamers delves into this kind of stuff once in a while where he finds something creepy on the internet and tells you, or he reports something to the FBI. Like that makes sense to call him out and be like, yo, dude, can you help me with this? And he does. He did. He's part of the video actually. But Philip DeFranco is kind of like an upbeat, like, give you your quick 5 to 15 minutes of news and send you on your way sort of guy. I realize he's not asking for a lot. He's asking for probably like a 30-second to 20-second shout out. You should support this. And maybe Philly D will actually do this if he sees it. But the way he approached it was by being like, you were too busy for me because you didn't care. Like, I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly, but it was a very aggressive tone. And I just thought, if you really want this guy to be on your side, maybe don't attack him for like what he was never obligated to do in the past or even now. Why would you attack the people you want to spread your message? And last but not least, he adds Chris Hansen onto this list of people he wants to help spread the message. Is it just me, or doesn't everybody know Chris Hansen is like a complete grifter who does nothing to help anybody but himself and is like completely about himself? He did nothing for the Onisin victims. He did nothing for the victims of Davi. Chris Hansen that dude's a scumbag. I think we can all agree that Chris Hansen is a pretty big scumbag. He had some good shows in the past that, he was the host of, but the people who did the research found the people and, brought the people in that were, I can't say the word on YouTube or my video will get delisted. We'll call them P criminals. He didn't do any of that himself. He was just the voice of the show. Even his YouTube stuff too. He even admits that he had writers and everything like that. He literally is just the voice that delivers it. If you investigate his real life, which is in the news a lot because he's been arrested and almost been arrested again when he failed to return evidence in a very important case, you'd know the guy is just a total grifter who's desperate for every buck he can grab. He's not doing YouTube out of the kindness of his heart. The other aspect of this that kind of gets to me is that Pick a Side YouTube is kind of an aggressive hashtag that, even though I reposted it, I feel like if I were to make the hashtag, I'd be a little less black and white about it, because pick a side means like either you're for saving children, YouTube, or you're a child predator. Like you can't do that, and you can't do that to the people that don't want to help you. That's kind of too black and white. You're talking about a media platform that deals with literally millions of different genres of everything possible. So just because somebody's channel or just because YouTube is not going to cover this doesn't make them pro-child predator. Like that's a little too black and white. I think that's trying to be very idealistic and simplistic with the idea of the abuse children suffer, by trying to break it down into an extremely complex situation into, a very simplistic solution. And it just doesn't work that way. No crime that is committed on Earth really can be broken down so simple. There's reasons for everything. But, and again, I shared this. I said, yeah, let's spread this message because I would like YouTube to be on the side of people who hunt down, abusers. I want them to be on the side of this. Now, here's the other thing that always kind of, it made it hard to always push what Mamamax was talking about. And it's the fact that he does declare himself to be a dark documentary channel. And when I think documentary, I think somebody covering a real life situation. But even in his own interview with Vosh, he says, I'm a half fiction, half truth documentary channel. So I just feel like if you're covering subjects that are this important, that you should leave any fiction based out of it. when we're dealing with abuse, when we're dealing with real life crime, when we're dealing with, real life child abuse, I don't think there's any room for fiction. How does making stuff up help the story or help the victims involved? You can't bring up fiction into court if any of these people were going to be prosecuted. On top of it, and he's taken this video down, so you can't go see it anymore. And I don't even remember the exact title because his videos have some pretty crazy titles. But he did one on about how he found a Japanese chat group of Japanese child predators. And this is the only video of his I ever wrote a message on. If you're a new viewer here and you don't know, I live in Japan. I speak Japanese. My family, I'm a white guy from America, but my family is Japanese here in Japan, of course. I married a Japanese woman. My kids are half Japanese. I have to speak Japanese every day. None of this made any sense what he was bringing to the table. Like, first of all, the website he brought up didn't even have like .jp on it. He said it was like an underground, dark web website. Okay, you could use a VPN and change everything. I get that. I understand. But then all the Japanese people on it were speaking to him in English. And not only were they speaking to him in English, it was like perfect English where they were yelling at him for trying to infiltrate their site. And I remember I posted on it, I said, this doesn't really seem very realistic. Like, first of all, no one's using any kanji, any hiragana, or any Japanese. They're speaking to you in English and everybody else in English. And to be quite frank and honest, Japan has the lowest English literacy rate in all of Asia. And it's very rare that you can find a Japanese person, aside from within Tokyo or Osaka, that can type a perfect English sentence and talks like a normal, casual English speaker. It's the same as me when I speak Japanese. I use words, I have to do a patchwork because I don't always know what the latest slang is. I don't always know what like the latest hip word to say is within Japanese culture. I don't know very old words. For example, if I were to talk about Dragon Quest, I don't remember how to say a torch in Japanese. There's a lot of words Japanese people don't know because they rarely ever have to use English in this country, let alone type it. And even their keyboards themselves are set up to switch between the two languages. And most times, even if they do have to type English, it tends to be Romaji English, which is katakana sounding English. You've got your like, oh, you are biddy dubbity, and I'm not trying to be racist with an accent. I mean, they literally type that in Romaji because they usually can't hear the interchangeable L and R sound. It goes deep into phonetics and, like actually even how you place your tongue in your mouth, that the way we speak is very different. I'm without going into a full history lesson of Japan's lack of English education, it would be incredibly rare that there would be people in a room chatting in perfect English and chatting to Mamamax in perfect English. And I just said, this doesn't seem very realistic. Like, I don't know where you would find a place where this many Japanese people speak absolutely, perfect English. Like, you couldn't find that on sites that are about English itself, about Japanese people who want to meet English speakers. They don't speak perfect English even on those websites. English teachers in Japan teach English in Japanese, to give you an idea. So it's just like, when I said this, I got no answer. I got no response. No one even tried to answer that on the site. No one, I didn't expect to. I'm a small, tiny voice in a sea of millions of people who probably watch his channel. And he's very popular. And the reason he is because his videos are made with great quality. I'm not taking that away from the guy. Whoever films his stuff, maybe he sets up all the scenes and everything. I mean, he's got an eye for scenes in his videos. At the same time, I appreciate his creativity and I appreciate, some of the great film that he captures and the scenes he captures. But at the same time, I feel like it almost makes sort of a mockery of such a serious situation. Like, one of his videos, he talks about how he's hungry to find predators again, and he stabs a sandwich with a knife and, cuts into this sort of like, what do you call it? American Psycho type stuff, where he's playing like blaring music while it shows ominous views of his eyes staring into the camera. And like, that's cool. Like, he's got a talent, dude. The guy is very talented if he's filming these scenes because they're, very clear, very well done. But like even in his video that asked people to shout out YouTube to try and fix this problem with deleting people's videos, he has this like super long intro with like techno music blaring, and it's like I feel like when it comes to these kind of videos covering very serious subjects such as child abuse, that you should first of all take any of the half fiction aspect out of it. Number two, get down to the basics, like brass tacks, like tell your facts of where you found all this stuff. Because a lot of the times, like for example, the Japanese website, he said, where child predators were talking to each other in English, even though they were Japanese people. Like I was just like, where is this? Where are you finding this stuff? Like this doesn't make any sense. That's probably a fiction part, which, okay, cool. You made a cool story, but either it's fiction or it's real when it comes to like crime. If I told someone a story about a family member being murdered, if I add it and I said like, and then a knight flew down from the sky and stabbed his wife with a gleaming sword of power, you'd be like, okay, that was kind of inappropriate. Why would you add this weird fantasy story to a very serious murder where someone's wife was killed? I'd be like, well, I do a half fiction, half reality. And like, I realize his is more based in reality. His fiction is more based in reality. There is dark websites, but like, if people are serious about this and want to pursue some of the things he's talking about, like he really wants to get people on his side fighting this stuff, then he needs to give them real leads, like not fictional leads. How do you pursue stopping child predators by giving people fictional leads? Am I making sense here? Anyway, I guess to end this video, some people might say, well, if you're so smart, Inksmith, what would your solution be to go after these people? Well, number one, I'm not so smart. This isn't something I'm great at doing, making documentaries or pursuing predators. I am on the side of people who do this because I think, horrible people like EDP 45, whatever, that guy's a piece of garbage. Anybody who's been caught on the website doing stuff like this is a piece of garbage, okay? They need to be locked up. They need to be in jail. But look what happened to EDP. That guy's not in jail because the people who pursued it did it in such a goofball way that they couldn't come back with any evidence that got him locked up. Is he deleted off of YouTube's platform? Yeah, sure. Yeah, but the dude's not locked up because the guys who handled the quote unquote investigation didn't exactly do it with the most professional aspect possible. My solution would be, what's the number one thing YouTube never censors or never takes down from YouTube? What's the one thing you see where you can talk about sort of sketchy subjects and like YouTube never ever tries to, block it or delete it? I'll tell you what it is. It's YouTube ads. How many YouTube ads are damaging to children? How many YouTube's ads show nasty, sexy, weird stuff that is not appropriate for kids on videos that are labeled for kids? A lot, a ton. It's ridiculous. I don't know why YouTube thinks they're protecting us or they're protecting our kids from this kind of stuff when they themselves allow advertisers to put, disgusting ads, that show just nasty stuff. Like I remember just yesterday, I watched an ad for like scissors to cut off chickens' legs, and these people cutting off like full chicken legs, like in the video, and it was an ad. Ones where it's like, dress this princess up, and she's like barely clad in any clothes. She's like a real woman who's like just wearing bra and panties, and like this is on a channel for video games for kids. Like so that's okay, but like these people making these predator videos is not okay. That's strange. But because these are okay, because YouTube lets this stuff slide, why not just pay for your video to be an ad? That's my solution. If you really want this, choose a side YouTube hashtag to spread and to be forced to be talked about and seen by everybody and not taken down, pay for it to be an ad. How many videos will it show up on? How much will it be spread? How much will YouTube not want to take it down because they're making money off of it? And that's all that matters to YouTube. I can tell you, YouTube's not going to stop what they're doing. The only way they're ever going to be affected if there was some sort of mass strike. Good luck trying to get that done. Have a mass strike of YouTubers? Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. The worst thing that could have happened to them is they lose advertisers until new nasty advertisers show up, okay? but you're not going to affect them unless you affect their wallet. So doing these sort of rants and ravings that Mamamax did, where I understand the essence, I understand what he's going for. I am with him on the fighting predators off of YouTube and getting rid of the nasty child abuse side of YouTube. I agree 100%. If I were to pick a side, I pick Mamamax's side, okay? But I think there was a better way to go about it, and I think if you really want a solution on how not to get your videos knocked down, that want to talk about very hardcore stuff like this of abuse, then make it an ad. I hope I've made myself clear in this. I know I went on a bit of a rant for a while. I might get a lot of hate because I've heard if anybody goes against this Mamamax video, people have been saying stuff like, well, you've chosen your side. Well, no, I mean, honestly, I did choose a side. I chose Mamamax's side. I helped spread his message. So saying I didn't choose his side is actually completely false. You can go to my Twitter and see that I've reposted it quite a few times to quite a few different people. But take away whatever you want from this. You know, let Mamamax know that if he really wants to get his videos seen, make them an ad on YouTube. YouTube doesn't censor any ads at all. Until next time, I've been the Inksmith. Have a great rest of the day.